Hey, you guys. I'm a little late. I'm here though. So, hey, what's up, everybody? Let's see. Get this set up. Hopefully, you guys are already here. I just have this camera going. I'm not sure what's going on with the laptop, but I was able to get it set up. So tonight, some of you might know. Well, first of all, hey, how's it going? This is Talia, your creative confidence mentor. Tonight, we're going to be creating a junk journal. For anyone who is new to junk journaling, or if this is your first junk journal, this will be a good video to reference. I'm going to be making a junk journal from a pizza box and an old envelope. And again, a junk journal is basically just something, it's also referred to as a visual journal or a art journal. And it's something where you can create inside on every page, kind of like a journal, except it's visual. So visual journal or art journal. So we're gonna go ahead and get in. I have the box here. And the envelope. I have some of the pages already cut, so I think we'll start with setting up the box, and then when I get to showing you how to insert the pages, we'll use the envelope, and that way it'll go by. I won't keep you here too long. So if you're coming in, go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll go ahead and get started. I'm gonna put the camera down. Again, I only have this one tonight, so you won't be able to see me when I'm talking to you, but got pizza box here. And I'm basically gonna keep the spine and use that for my book. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the outside edges of the pizza box off, so I'm just left with the front and back cover, or the top and the bottom of the box, which is gonna be the front and back cover. I probably should have done this first, but I wanted you guys to be able to see how it got to the point where I'm getting it to. Because if I say remove the sides, it may come clear to somebody. Actually, I'm gonna mute it just for a second so it's not loud in your ear. So if you come on here and you can't hear me, the audio will come back shortly, okay? Okay, there we go. So if you're just joining, the audio is back on. I just turned it off so it wouldn't be loud in your ears. But it gets a little messy, but I'm not too worried about that because we're gonna be cutting this down to size. The reason why I chose the pizza box is because of how wide the spine is. If you see the junk journal that I'm actually creating in, you'll notice like, or as time goes, your pages are gonna get a little bit thicker. And it's because we're adding on to it and creating on them. So you want a pizza box that's not too messy, just so you don't have a book that smells like pizza. But you also don't have to worry about what it looks like because we're going to be covering it. And you have an option of what you want to use to cover your box with or your junk journal with. I'm actually going to keep this, but I'm probably going to use fabric or paper on the inside. And then for the spine, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put 3 holes on here, and that's gonna allow you to insert your pages later. That's one of the steps that we're gonna be showing you later. But the other thing too is at this point, if you want to cut it down to a smaller size, you can. I have paper here that we're gonna be using for this book since it's bigger. See how these are huge, but we're gonna have to fold them in half to get them in the book. So the book's gonna be, or the book I'm referring to, the pizza box. It's gonna have to be cut down to size. So in choosing your paper, what I've done is I take advantage of the sales at Michael's. When these hot buys come on, they go from $20 for these 48 sheets of paper. They're usually, yeah, I think they're usually $20. So when they go on sale, you get these big packs for $5. So I've got a few here, and I'll be using these for my inserts. But before I do, I'm gonna get one of the pages and actually cut it down to size. I'm gonna cut this book to this size. That way all my papers will be able to fit into here the same way, hopefully. And this is why I'm only showing you how to assemble the cover for the pizza box, and then we're gonna be doing I'm gonna be showing you how to insert the pages with the envelope, because that's already set up. And the reason why I'm folding the page in half is because it's gonna be bound to the spine. And then I'm just gonna cut the box down to size. You can either do it lengthwise. Right here. And if you have kids creating, of course, help them to cut it. And I have an X-Acto knife here, but I'm probably going to be using the scissors since I don't always cut straight with that. I can with the scissors. So it's a little crooked. I'm gonna try again. And again, I'm encouraging you to use whatever you have on hand, which is how I ended up with the pizza box as my example. A cereal box is also good because it's not too thick, and you can cut your paper a little bit easier. It's gotta look crooked. But that's fine. So right here, so let's say you cut down your box to size. Then you're gonna want to pick your inserts, and I usually do at least maybe 3 of 5 pages each, or either 5 of 3, just to really what you're gonna try, and you don't want to make it too thick, because your needle, what I use is a needle and yarn, so you want your needle to be able to go through the paper and the cardboard. So what I do is I use a thumbtack and I'll set holes, and have one here already. So you see this cardboard box on the spine, I've already got holes poked through, and that way when I set my paper up, I can just poke it right straight through here, and then I'll come back through the middle hole, and then out the top. That way when I come back through this one, through the middle, I'll be able to insert my next set of pages, and you'll be able to see that with the envelope. But the important thing is that you're going to be setting the holes or poking your holes on the cardboard spine before you try and insert the pages. So that's an example. So here's what we did. We went from the pizza box, and I used my paper that I'm gonna be inserting into the book to help me determine how wide it needs to be. And you see how this paper is sticking out at the top? I can go back and cut the paper down to size if I need to. And that can be done later before they're inserted into the book. So there's that step. And then once you have your pages set, here's an example. So I took an old magazine apart. It's from our Mary Kay Applause magazine, actually. And then I have some papers in here, like you can just insert them. And what you'll do is you'll line them up and you'll poke your holes where you want to put it in the book. And then you'll slide it into the book, and that's where you'll start sewing it into the spine. So with this one, we actually only need to do one insert. Let's see, I think I chose. There's 4 pages in each one, so there's 8 pages together when it's folded in half. And that's what we'll be doing here with inserting the pages. So here's the start when you're cutting it down, and then when you set it up with the holes for your paper. And then I'm actually going to show you how to insert your pages. Let me get this one. So here's my cover. It's an old envelope. And I'm just gonna poke 3 holes. I guess I can mark them first, actually. That way it'll line up with here. I might cut my paper down. See, I don't know. Usually what happens is if you have one with a window, you can tape another paper on the inside, or glue it, I should say. And that way you can put a slit here and not glue it and create a pocket. So I think we'll do that here. Make sure I don't lose any. I'm gonna cut a slit here, that way when I go to glue it, I'll remember where. And when you cut your slit, you want to make it a little bit wider than the window of the envelope. I think I like this one more. Yeah. I was just trying to figure out what color I wanted to show out the window. And then so when I glue the front, I'm gonna glue everything but this slit here, or the window area. Let me use this. I don't have to worry about it. When I do the junk journaling, I'm fine with using the Elmer's glue, but when it comes to the book, I want it to, I'm gonna be creating in it for a long while, so I want to make sure that everything's stuck together right. Let me see if we got a window here. Okay. And back color, I'm not too concerned about. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and mark off where I want my pages to go. What? I'm making sure that my pages or my inserts are marked the same as the envelope. That way they'll be bound in there together. And actually I should have went from the bottom because my pages. I'm gonna cut this top part off to match the inserts. So I'm gonna use the insert line for envelope. And then my needle will just go through. And again, with your inserts, it's all up to you with how thick you have them. I think I said I have 5 or 4, 5 pages. So it's not too thick, and I'm still able to use just the strength of my hands to push it through the papers. So if you have a thicker sheet of paper or the material that you're going through, like the envelope or the pizza box, then you may want to make sure that you're poking the holes through by layer, and that way you're not straining yourself. And it also helps with making sure that the book stays neat. If you care to keep it neat. So I'm gonna add yarn to this, and then we'll start inserting the pages. I think I'm only gonna do these, and then I'll show you how to add in pages that are the same size. And then we'll put a cover on it and maybe use an elastic to keep it together. So we'll hang out for a little while. If you're just coming on, I'm creating a junk journal from start to finish. I kind of showed you how to cut a pizza box down to size, and then gave an example of poking the holes on the spine. And now I'm showing you how to insert the pages on the envelope. I tie it twice at least. That way it doesn't come out. Straighten it. As you go. These are the Mary Kay eye patches. They work really well. They soothe, cool, and moisturize your eyes. There's 30 in a pack. They last you a good while too. Okay. So if you want it, this is where you would go back in through the middle. Well, actually, we're gonna go back in through the middle. That way, I can tie it off, and my string will be even on the outside. Get up. Okay. And if you were doing more than one insert, this is where you would come back through here. And I would actually come out through the pages. You see that? I'm out of the pages, but I'm not going through the envelope. So that I'm here, I come out here between the envelope and the book itself. And this is where I could add some more pages if I wanted to. Let's see here. It's not too big. Actually, we can do short pages now. Because we only have 2 at the bottom, I can just put my string back through here. So let me show you what I mean. Let's see. These random pages here. I'm gonna put them sideways. Blue. Oh, this looks cool. It's gonna be diagonal. How many pages is that? I don't want to make it too thick. This is just to show you guys. This here. I'm gonna fold these diagonally just so that they can fit in the book. Oh, perfect. I can actually do. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. This. Oh, I have. The important part is that you keep your mark where you want the pages to be. See these shorter pages? I'm lining them up with the bottom of the book. And then I'm writing or marking them where I want the needle to go through. And I'll be bind it. Those are my old Sudoku puzzles that I've already done. So I'm putting them in there so I can decorate them. So, and this is also an example to show you that you don't have to go out and buy new supplies. I mean, you can, it's a good excuse to go shopping for craft material. But if you don't have it, or if you want to just make a junk journal out of what you have, then that's actually more of what I encourage, because you're using the materials that you already have on hand. And you get to be more creative because you got to think outside the box. So you're usually using things outside of the traditional use, and that's where the fun happens. But, let's see. I'm gonna do 2 at a time. Which one did I mark? And I find it easier to poke through when the page is kind of folded. So that's why you see me turn it over to the other side that I marked it on. Save these 2 pages. Something like one of these pages here. I'm just gonna mix it up. I think I poked it upside down. Some staggering in. It's a little tricky because I have short pages and then I folded the other ones diagonally. So I'm just taking an extra moment to line them up. But that's all I'm doing. So that when I come in here, I can actually insert it through the top. And it's okay to go through each page as I need to. Because in the end, you still get to line them all up. There we go. So here, that's too high. I have them upside down, so my hang on a second. Flip them. So these are just gonna flip. Just turn these upside down. That'll be the easiest way. Okay, try it again from the back. Just all right, tug it. I tug at it just to make sure that it's close to my envelope and that there's no extra slack there. And then bringing it through the middle, I'm actually gonna have to bring it through the Sudoku puzzles now, so I get to line those up. Sorry, I don't know how I can show you on the camera. I'm kind of working off a feel here too. So, but basically, putting it. Okay, here we go. There we go. I can show you. So the hole is here, and I'm just feeding it through one page at a time. So it's kind of like finding the hole and then placing the needle right there and then just pulling the paper up. So that's pretty much my method. I'm just pulling it through. And then you see how it's gotten loose, that's fine. Once I'm here, I can adjust things. Like that. And all my square pages can line up. And then we'll come back through the envelope. Don't forget to go back out to your cover to secure it. See that? So now the pages are going to be secured to the binding itself. Or to the cover, I'm sorry. We are binding. And then back through each page. As I mentioned, you find a hole on the page and just fit the needle back through. There we go. And then I'm going to tie it off here. Actually, I probably could go back through the middle and tie it in the back. So that's what I'm going to go back through here. But I'm not going out the envelope. I'm coming. Here. Sorry, I'm fishing for my needle. And I'm just stringing it back through its own thread and tying it off. You don't want to pull too hard, you're still working with paper. So you might tear your envelope. But that's it. This is how you create a junk journal. So you'll see the first few pages are from the magazine. So you can create on here, on here. And I didn't put a lot of pages in here because, again, it's going to become a lot as you're creating on it. The pages are going to get thicker. See how clean it looks? It's not too crazy. And your pages come together nice and neat. And what I like to do is, because what I've used as my paper, you might find things that you want to keep or highlight on or create as your background or keep as your background. Looks like the bottom didn't come through too tight. There we go. And then for these pages, so we've got a different color here or a pattern, and then just a scrap paper pattern, and this can actually become one picture. And you get to create on it. So for those of you who are new to junk journal and haven't done it, I have another video where I did create on some of the pages that you can go back and look on. And then not next Saturday, but the Saturday after. What is that? October 10th. October 10th, I'll be creating some more in the junk journal. What we're gonna do next is put a cover on our book. So we've got a book made. Now we're gonna create a cover for it. And I've got stickers and I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I try. But it's gonna still be kind of simple. Actually, I have some stems. Let's use these. Or stencils, not stems. Every time I create on live with you guys, I have to go back and clean up. I just pile everything to the side. I need to have a trash can with me. So here we go. Here's some stencils that I'll use later. It's got some butterflies, a dragonfly, hummingbird. And this, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the hexagon is my favorite shape. So we've got some of that too. But that's for later. Let me go ahead and get this set up. We're gonna go ahead and put a cover on our journal. And this is actually tissue paper. And if you see, it's kind of got a print on it of an old newspaper kind of looking thing. So that's what I'm gonna make this my cover. But as for this journal here, this cardboard box one, I actually went to Walmart and in the fabric, safety first. In the fabric section, they have these little squares that they call, what are they called? Like a fat square, I think is what it is. But it's an 18 by 21 inch piece of fabric, and I've taken that and I've cut it in half, so it actually goes right around the journal. So if I were to come here, set this in the middle, I could then cover this side, or if you prefer, you can cut a slit here at the corner of the book. That way you can bring this over, and then fold this in as well. So what you'll do is you'll cover your edges on the top and the bottom, and then you'll fold over the longer side. That way it'll cover most of your cardboard. So most of it will be covered like that, and you'll have your cover. So that's what I've done, and I have enough for a few. I like this one, the pineapples. Courage, if you're watching, you might like this one. Let's see what else. If somebody likes color blue. I think that's all I got. Yep, and the music. I got some more music. And there's that. So I'll be creating these, and I'll probably be posting pictures. And by the way, if you are creating with me, or if you do happen to get inspired from something that you see on here, post it and tag me in it. I want to see what you're creating. It'll be cool to see somebody else's work as well. And also, I'm not the only creative on here. Well, of course, it's YouTube. You know, I'm not the only creative on here. So if you get a chance, go watch Olivia and Amber's channel as well. It's Olivia Hayward, HEYWARD. Every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern time, she creates handmade jewelry. And then on Thursdays at 8, I believe it's at 8 or 8:30, is the A&O show with Amber and Olivia. They're both on YouTube. They're both on Facebook. So make sure you check it out. I like this paper. Okay, so this paper, I got this at Hobby Lobby in the birthday area. So there's 8 tissue papers in here, and it was only $1.99. Whereas if I bought this in the crafting section, it probably would have been more. So I just happened to find this, but I do like it because it's not thin like tissue paper. It's actually got a little bit of a texture on it that will allow me to glue it to the envelope without worrying about it tearing apart. And I also get to cut it down to the exact size without having to worry about tearing it. So I'm actually going to use one of these folds to my advantage and just cut there. Oh, I just started cutting it. I didn't even double check. Okay, good. Check it twice. And you already know I'm gonna save this paper and use it in junk journaling. Ooh, I could probably use this as a page insert actually. So they have something that's called rice paper, and it's kind of pricey. But this paper might be fun to create on. So I'm definitely gonna cut this down to size to fit one of my books that I'm creating, one of these junk journals. And I'll be able to create on the paper, because what usually happens is I'm using something like this to cover a page and make that my background. But if I make a page of this paper, it would be pretty neat. Okay, back to creating. Oops. This was a little wider. And I probably should set this side first for that reason. And it would probably be smarter paper. And I'm keeping the glue as close to the edge of this window as possible. That way we're making sure that it's sealed and it doesn't start peeling upward away from the window. Or the pocket, I should say, the window. Go. And then let's see, what am I going to use to find? The glue is still wet, so I don't want to create wrinkles with my hand directly on the paper, which is why I put a paper on top of it to smooth it out, so that the excess glue can get on the paper and not my hands, and I don't damage the color. So yeah. And then the same thing for the back cover. This one's not so challenging because there's no way to worry about. This is helping me to smooth out the glue so I don't have clumps. Smooth. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Hopefully it's just me that can hear it later. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut the paper down the middle where the spine is at. That way it'll freeze up. And I'm gonna cut diagonally just a little bit. There we go. We have a book, cover to cover. And you can always make it neat and presentable as you like, or tweak it, decorate it. It's yours, of course. And let's see here. Oh, you know what? I didn't cut a slit after the cover was on, so I'll have to go. That the tricky part now would be to find a slit without cutting through to the other page. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do it real lightly because I know it's right here above here. And I completely forgot about the pocket. Until just I cut through the pocket. I cut through it. So I found it, but I also cut past the one I was supposed to. I can actually use washi tape and make that look neat. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna remove the tissue paper that I peeled off because of that. And oh, I have a big old bin for my washi tape now because it was so hard to keep dumping them out of that canister. So now I have them in a bin where I can see all of them. I just need one that goes with this tissue paper. But everything's so bright. Maybe some hearts. Or this. This. This is super. Oh, that actually goes with it. Here we go. Just fold it open. There we go. Fix the pocket. All right, so let's see how big this is. This is just whatever you want to stick it there. There you go. You can decorate that. And then I don't really have anything to cover. Oops, I keep forgetting to cover this. So you have an option. You can actually just use a rubber band and slap it around the side of it. Some people also like to do lengthwise, and that's also fine. The only thing is that this material for the envelope isn't thick, so I would suggest taping or gluing a thicker piece of paper here in the center or on the inside of your cover. So like a bookmark. And there's your pocket. And there's your closure. There's your do-it-yourself visual journal. So now you can actually create in this, and I probably will. I'll probably do like a little mini series and just show it to you, or either, you know, when I do the live, So when I do the live next, not next week, but the Saturday after that, it'll be October 10th, I believe. October 10th, yes, October 10th will be the next time that I come on live, both in the junk journaling group on Facebook and also on YouTube. So next week, I don't know what I'll be doing, if it'll be junk journaling or if it'll be painting, or if I'm just gonna come on here and color and you guys can watch me color. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I don't have anything planned for next week except that I know I will be here at 8 o'clock on YouTube, so you can join me. We'll probably be adding on to this actually. I'm probably gonna create in this week, but this is as long as I'm gonna be going on tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I was able to show you how to take a pizza box, cut it down to size. Again, I chose the size by folding my paper in half to know how wide it was going to be and the length of the box. And then from there, you would punch holes. You would need 3 on the spine of your pizza box. And the example I showed you was on this cardboard box that already has the holes punctured in it. And that's definitely so it's easier to get your papers inserted. And then how to insert was actually done on this envelope book. I like this. It feels really neat. It kind of feels like receipt paper. It's kind of glossy, but it's thin like newspaper. So it's an interesting texture. And then my pages inside, of course, here. And you can go and put stamps on them, decorate on them, but we'll be able to create on that next time. So I hope you had a good time, or I hope you were able to learn a little bit from the beginning to the end process of creating a junk journal from what you have at home. And I hope you're able to use the materials that you have. This will be a good time to use materials that you've been trying to save for a special occasion. I've said it before, and it's that you want to use everything that you have. That way you don't waste products. Sometimes we save our washi tape and our stickers for the special occasion and it never comes. And then we find out that our glue has dried out or the stickers have lost their adhesive. So use what you have and get creative. And that's it. I'll see you again here next Saturday. Probably visual journaling. I think that's right. With painting, it's a lot. I know you guys probably want to see more painting, especially because it's a lot of fun. I do love painting. It's just it's just totally different to set it up and to paint on camera. I feel like I don't have enough space, so I will probably have to do an entirely new setup. So when I get a better setup going, we'll paint again. But until then, I'll be back here next week, Saturday, probably visual journaling. Or we will all be surprised if I have some set up for us to paint again. But yeah, I've got a couple of the paintings up there. And I'm gonna head out. You guys have yourself a good night. Don't dash na gok sa awan daw.